Are your phones on silent?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's gonna give me FOMO anyway.
You're listening to the Quint's podcast.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Work is so stressful, yeah.
Man, I feel like I'm wasting my youth.
I feel like I just can't sustain relationships.
Not fine. Thanks.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Not Fine, Thanks. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, this is Quint's podcast where we discuss everyday mental health, and I'm your host Anushka. In previous episodes, I spoke to young Indians about their experience with burnout, climate anxiety, and we also did an episode with content creator Sakshi Sindwani about social media and body image. So do check those out as well. Today I'm here with two other young Indians, Shravya and Yash. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
And they're here to talk to us about the world of social media, how they interact with it, and of course, how it impacts their mental health, being on it and also not being on it. So, Shravya, like me and many of you listeners, I'm sure, is a self-diagnosed social media addict. Would you say, Shravya?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how old are you? Can you tell me a little bit
I'm
about
25. I'm a producer. I'm a video producer, and I work with the Quint as on the branded content team.
Okay.
And staying away from social media is not something that's expected out of my job, and I make absolutely sure that I am on social media when I'm at work also. 5 minute ka break mile to bhi I'm like scrolling.
How much would you say is your daily social media consumption?
Something I've lost track of because I'm like subconsciously even my
Which is your most used app, would you say?
Oh, Instagram.
Can you check like how long you spend on
1 second.
Instagram?
I'll just check my activity. That's one space that I don't go to because then it gives me anxiety that, oh God, that's lots of social media hours. So I don't check it very often because of the same reason ki it'll give me anxiety. Like reality check is not something, it's pretty less. Today it's very less. On Sunday, it was 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay.
Is that too much? Is that less? Is that
I was expecting like much
way
worse.
too much?
So,
Okay, great.
So I think that's not so bad. And we also have here with us Yash. So Yash, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? How old are you? What do you do?
See, I am 24. I am a lawyer and I am preparing for UPSC. So that's my life right now.
You're not even on LinkedIn, is that right?
I am on Instagram, but I use it as a messaging app or something.
Okay.
Because then I uninstall it once in a day and I'm going to reinstall it.
You uninstall it once a day?
Yeah,
Every day?
Okay, and
Wow.
I'm going to reinstall it at around 11 at night or something, and then I'll chat or something, video call something. That's it, nothing.
That's
What
too
about
much patience.
WhatsApp or Telegram?
WhatsApp is a necessity. See, I'm a lawyer and I'm preparing for UPSC, so WhatsApp is a necessity. For taking
No, I
notes
mean,
and
why
stuff.
don't you use WhatsApp to chat instead of installing and uninstalling Instagram?
I know people who are not there on WhatsApp also. Some people are using Telegram, so that becomes a problem. So rare lo ya delete kar lo ya.
Okay.
That is a factor. So yeah.
Okay. But so you have this window at night when you use it, is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Wow, so but how patient are you? I mean, where does that, where is the source of that patience is what I want to know.
See, in your field, social media is necessary, right? But right now, as far as things are concerned for me, I feel that social media is a bit distracting. Sometimes the outer world makes an image you'll feel that everything is going good for others and stuff and all. And if I see people are not really enjoying, they're posting stuff and all to show that they're enjoying, but actually they're not, because I know quite a few people who are posting things like they're traveling to this place or that place, but their life is a real mess, to be honest. So
you not being on social media is like a very conscious decision you take because you know that it is bad for your mental health or your head space. So it's not something like, it's just not something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But it's something that you feel
it is not good for me. Yeah.
Okay. That is a lot of self-control that you have.
Absolutely.
Because
in some form, I guess, sharing your pictures on social media is a form of expression that has always existed. It's just that, the medium has changed. Just say, if you remember when we used to visit our relatives or somebody or probably a family friend, वो albums निकाल के लाते हैं, है ना? And they show कि this is where we went to USA, या we went to Dubai, and these are the pictures, and वो घंटे भर लगे रहते हैं कि हमें pictures दिखाने के लिए, and we'll be like, we don't want to see it. So what I mean to say is कि उनके किस्से, expressions, the kind of stories that they tell us of their trip, of the daily happenings that they had. So that form of expression has always existed. But with social media, I guess the accessibility to it has increased like in a very exponential form. Kyunki, you can do it in real time. You can share those pictures in real time.
So do you see that kind of having a negative impact, like if you take it to another extreme in terms of accessibility, because it's there 24/7 and it's constantly being updated and you're constantly getting new content if you look for it? Can you kind of lose yourself in that sometimes?
Oh, you definitely lose yourself in that. But I feel social media comes for me as a form of comfort. For me, when I'm like done with my day, done with work, social media comes as a form of comfort and a form of, unraveling my own worries by just scrolling through those reels. It might have its own impact on me, but it does come as a form of comfort. It's like a go-to place for me when I'm, probably not in the right mood to talk to anybody, or I just want to chill. I just want to, get off with my worries of the day. I take to social media so that I get that form of comfort because I know it is there. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I get that also because, sometimes you just want like mind-numbing content which just takes you out of your real world and you're just scrolling through things. But sometimes when you spend too much time doing that, at least I experience this, at the end of it, I'm like, I spend so much time and there's no value added. Like I just spend so much time scrolling and scrolling. Do you feel that? Or
I do realize that because, I share a lot of reels. I'm a spammer when it comes to reels. I like 10 reels at a time I share with friends. So sometimes when somebody else is sending me stuff, I'm thinking, ये तो मैंने देख रखा है. There are very few reels that I have not seen. So do you realize the amount of time that I spend on reels, watching reels, sharing reels, that I have seen almost all of them?
This is actually a point I wanted to come to. Something I want to ask Yash actually, because, social media is so much part of our popular culture now as a medium to kind of spread popular culture also. So whether it's memes or any references, it spills over to real life. Like you said, you share reels and then you make references to that in real life also. So do you kind of, Yash, feel like you miss out on that, or do you feel FOMO?
I don't really feel that I miss out. I don't really feel that I miss out on those things. The reason being, like, if you're talking about memes and stuff and all, okay. So there are quite a few memes that are kind of patriarchal. Take for example, like
the feminine urge.
Exactly.
Posts.
And many people will be like, what? That is good. I see like boys are like that, boys should be like that or something. And then they are going to like do that thing in the real life also, act in that very way.
But
People
do you
are
ever feel
influenced.
like you are missing out a little bit on, do you ever feel FOMO when you're
the fun
interacting?
content?
Yeah.
See, I do feel that I am missing out and all, but it's totally good. I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
That is not a problem. See, because when I have to connect with my friends, or like every day we do a video call sort of a thing that at around 10 people or something. So I feel that if you really need to talk to somebody, like messaging is important, but it is not possible at every time or something. So I feel like at a single point of time, you can just video call or something, talk to them over phone or something. That is a bit better.
So you're really good at like compartmentalizing your time and okay.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Because my to-do list is just, overflowing and I'm not getting anything done apart from going on Instagram and watching videos. So that is something I really, But yeah, if you're talking about social media addiction, reels is something that have completely ruined attention for us. That I agree. क्योंकि हमारा जो attention span है वो 30 seconds या 60 seconds से ज़्यादा अब टिकता नहीं है. Like when you watch long form videos on YouTube or on IGTV, in fact, your attention span is just that 1 minute.
Yeah.
उससे ज़्यादा
as a consumer, you understand that. But even as a creator, it's so frustrating because you know where it's coming from, right?
Yeah. So as a creator and as a consumer, you're like standing on both boats. दोनों ही boats में हम पैर रख के खड़े हैं. And I'm thinking कि dude, what is the side that I should be taking? But at the end of the day, I think reels have ruined that for us. क्योंकि our attention span is so less.
Do you feel like your attention span is better because you're not so much into social media? Do you find you're
No,
able to
I
focus
wouldn't
more?
really say that, to be honest. Like, it might be better in some cases and all, but still, there are quite a few distractions all over the world, right? While I'm studying. So, that is not really
Yeah,
the
so
case, to be
I
honest.
actually want to know, like, since you're not on any social media, how do you waste your time? Like, how do you spend your time?
I'm going
in
to
the
watch
day.
some what web series or something like that.
Okay.
To play Genshin Impact or something like that's it, nothing.
Okay.
Padhai karna, because I have to study. Like, I have to study and all for 10 hours or something. So I cannot really afford to waste my time in that. To be honest, I'm mentioning that waste my time. So
Yeah. Yeah,
Thanks.
I mean, we do you.
Just made me feel better, but thanks.
No, I think we're self-aware that
We are
a lot of
self-aware,
it is
yes.
wasting time, but I mean,
But
we
you don't
mind
want
it.
a reality check, no, at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Also, do you feel like FOMO for real life sometimes? Do you feel like you're missing out because you spend so much time online? You could have been doing
Not
something else with it.
really, because I'm not a people's person. I mean, my circle is very small, and I would rather, just stay at home scrolling than go out and meet people. But FOMO कुछ चीजों में होता है, जैसे कि if I see somebody traveling, those are the things that literally bugs me out, because you see people traveling out there and you just want to be out there in the traveling sphere, not in the garmi, but in the traveling sphere. Ki, that is something I want to do. I just want to leave and go. So those are the things that cause FOMO. And again, like he said, ki the negative impacts of social media is that probably they'll be traveling in an amazing place, having the fun, like the time of their life, but in real life, it must be really screwed up for them. So it's just the good parts of it that transcribes into the story, or that reflects onto their stories or their posts or whatever that they are putting out on social media. So yes, that is very deceiving, but the real story behind it must be something completely different.
Yeah. And also during COVID, I mean, both of you can kind of tell me what your experience was like, because when you're locked down, you have nothing to do. Like, so much of our worlds kind of shifted online, right? There was so much going on online and people are sharing. Yash, like, how did you cope through that? How did you get through that? And
So,
maybe your time get
yeah,
through
I used
that
to
time?
call up my friends and talk. That was all right for me, to be honest.
So
Like,
you never felt like you were kind of
No, not
missing
at all.
out
See,
out of the
if you
loop?
really need to talk to somebody, you can just call and all. Like, social media, if you take for example, if you have like around 500 followers or something, you just don't talk to everybody.
Yeah.
You might be talking to around 10 people, okay, 20 people, uske alawa you don't. So that doesn't really make any sense. Like, you just posting something that everybody is going to have that view list sort of a thing, right? Everybody is going to watch your reels or something, your photos, and that doesn't really make any sense because nobody gives a damn about it. You might
I
be
guess
feeling
that's
that.
just a sense of validation
Yeah,
that you get.
and why should you give such validation to yourself? Like, that is not social media is not the world, man. You have your own life, to be honest. So
He seems pretty happy though.
Does it
Not
look
really,
greener
but
on
yeah.
this side, Shravya?
Nah, I'm fine here. I'm just fine here.
Do you have anything to add in terms of, like, say, what happens if you are not on social media? Like, if you have to stay away from social media, or somebody tells you cannot use it anymore?
Oh, social media is a far-fetched thing. I'll give you an example. So I recently went for a show जहाँ पे phones use करना allowed नहीं था. So what they did was they put our phones in an envelope and they gave it to us, but we couldn't use it. So my phone is there in an envelope and I can't use it. And I can't check my phone. I can't go through Instagram. I know the show is going on, but still there's that innate urge to, at least check for notifications. Ki just kya pata message aa gaya ho, kya pata call aa gaya ho. But that 1.5 hours of me sitting there without checking my phone was really anxiety inducing. And I can tell you ki the negative parts of that social media addiction that you're talking is probably that ki 1.5 hours I can't be without my phone. I couldn't even enjoy the show properly just because my phone was in a cover, right, sitting right next to me. Like that's what I'm saying. So when I don't check my phone, or if I'm not on social media for some time, there is a certain sense of anxiety that comes in ki I just want to just take a peek. So I went to the extent of cutting a small hole, a small slit in my envelope to just check for the notifications ki kya aa raha hai, kya nahi aa raha hai. So yes, the anxiety is there. In fact, I'm feeling anxious right now कि क्या message आया मेरे phone पे. I can hear it buzz right here, but I want to know कि क्या आ रहा है, क्या हो रहा है.
Do you ever feel like you need to kind of get that under control, or you need to deal with that, or it's a problem, it can become a problem, or it has already become a problem?
But it has already become a problem, and you can like very visibly see that or hear that. But
does it bother
Yeah.
you, I guess?
sometimes it does, but again, like I said, ki it is very anxiety inducing to just think of that factor ki I have a problem. Thinking about a problem gives you more anxiety.
So have you tried
So-
a cleanse, like they say, social media cleanse?
Detoxifying chalta hai 6 महीने में एक बार. Like for him it's once in a day. For me it's once in 6 months that I keep my phone away. I detoxify. I sometimes uninstall Instagram and go on a ascetic life for a week or so. And but in my profession I can't even afford to do that because we reach out to people.
Yeah.
We are in touch with the latest trends just because of social media, because the world lives there. So that is a huge challenge for me as a content creator, that I have to be in touch with what is happening in the world, and my only window to that is probably social media, because even if I'm in touch with newspapers, even if I'm watching television news, they are not caught up as social media is.
Absolutely.
So social media is a huge part of my profession. So I don't
it's
have the
difficult
liberty.
to,
I don't have the
yeah.
liberty to take that detox that I really need.
Yeah, and it's
But-
difficult to like separate yourself from it and be like, okay, I won't.
मैं excuse भी है यार कि हाँ काम के लिए चाहिए. How many times I've told my mom कि मम्मी काम के लिए कर रही हूँ मैं.
So because for you it's a very conscious decision that you've taken, because you know how it can impact your mental health. Do you find yourself better for not having social media? Do you find at the end of the day, mental health wise, it does you good? Like, do you see it tangibly?
Absolutely.
How can you tell me a little bit about it?
See, first of all, as she was telling that when you don't use it, you feel like you're anxious or something, right? And that doesn't really happen to me. Like if I'm really feeling low or something, I don't really need social media. I'm going to talk to my friends or something. That is enough for me. Like when I'm really anxious when I'm not studying. So that becomes a problem. Social media is not at all a
His
problem. to be
anxiety
honest.
priorities are different.
Yeah, so that becomes a problem right now. So I'm totally cool with it.
And you don't feel like it has affected your friendships at all, your
No,
ability
not
to
at
make
all.
friends?
Not at all.
I mean, your friends are still as responsive to you, like when you call
Yeah,
up
exactly,
and things.
exactly.
Well, I guess I don't
I'm
think
just telling
social
you,
media
like,
defines your friendship
exactly,
any day.
exactly, never.
Because जिसने दोस्त रहना है वो
बिल्कुल,
दोस्त
रहेगा
रहेगा.
ही, exactly.
Even if you're on social media or not, that is a completely unrelated thing to say. But some people do think, जितना followers ज़्यादा है, जितने दोस्त ज़्यादा है, उतना ही हमारा
That doesn't
वो,
Achha, just
is-
tell me, okay,
yeah.
like there are celebrities who are having around 150 million followers or something. They don't know anybody. Okay, they're just following people. Are just following this. If a celebrity posts or like what a shitty post or something, like doing whatsoever random thing, everybody is going to like what push the like button or something. Then that doesn't really matter, man. Why should you do that? That guy is just getting money out of it, those posts or something, and you're just wasting your time reading that content, whatever that person has written or something like that becomes a problem.
True.
Yes. The pros and cons are everywhere. I guess I'm sure his lifestyle also has a pro and con, but let's not get there at this point.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, guys. This was a lovely conversation. Before speaking to Shravya and Yash, I also spoke to an expert who gives us some professional insights into this issue. Hello, Dr. Ruchi. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi Anushka, thank you for having me.
To begin with, I'd just like to know, do you often get patients or clients who come to you, talking about the social media addiction or that they're addicted to their mobile phones? Is that something you hear a lot in your practice?
Yes, a lot, and not just from the young adolescent crowd, even people in their middle age, or they come complaining about their own addictions and addictions of their children. Just break it down to that, right? So the adolescent group would not usually come up with saying that, this is an addiction, it's causing problems for me. But they will come up with a lot of anxiety issues, okay, wherein, so we're all aware of the FOMO thing, that, fear of missing out. So they come with those kind of issues wherein they're saying, I'm experiencing anxiety, I feel, panic symptoms coming in because of a lot of my peer group is doing this, and, they are posting Insta reels, they are doing so much online, and I am not that much. So that is one aspect of it. The other aspect is, constant competition sense that is going around. So their symptoms are more focused on that. They will never outright come and say that, I'm having an addiction or that kind of a thing. Whereas if I'm to look at their parents, who usually come complaining about, in the sense of addiction, as we refer it to, so they would usually tell that, the time amount is going on increasing, the frequency of use is increasing, and, there is this obsessive quality to the use of internet and social media. And then, children are lying about a lot of things. They are getting aggressive and violent if their internet use is being stopped. So those are the complaints which are more, similar to the criteria which was defined as the internet gaming disorder, or, problematic use of internet.
So, apart from anxiety, what are some other, mental health issues or symptoms that you tie to this social media addiction or internet addiction?
So, see, there are three categories. Basically, there would be physical symptoms also. So, there would be extreme exhaustion, because you're not just overusing your brain, you're also overusing your eyes, right? Many a times your hands would start aching. So, physical symptoms also would come in, lack of sleep, exhaustion during the day. That is another thing. Especially people who are gaming at night, or, are watching a lot of series at night. So for them, sleep is a real issue physically. And then emotionally, of course, there is a lot of issue wherein anxiety is one of the emotional symptoms, right? So there is fear, there's anxiety, there's many times there is this social anxiety is also there. It could lead up to depression in some patients, but mostly we have seen in the teenage group and the young adults, we're seeing anxiety more than depression. Okay. Then if I'm to look at the cognitive symptoms, there are a lot of cognitive symptoms as in related to the thought processes behind it. So, feeling worthless, feeling stuck up, the self-confidence goes low, there is a lot of self-doubt that's happening, and excessive use can also lead to a lot of guilt, because they know somewhere at the back of their mind that they're overdoing it, but they are still not able to stop it. Right?
So I'd spoken to a couple of people about this for the podcast itself, and one of them, she said that, yeah, I mean, I do recognize it, but then I don't feel the need to stop, because like you mentioned, social anxiety is an issue with her, and she feels like I'm more comfortable just being on my own on my phone. It makes me feel a lot better than being out there with people. So
see, there are a lot of people who avoid health checkups. If I'm to give you an analogy here, right, they would avoid their health checkups even though they are having symptoms. There are so many people out there, who are avoiding wearing glasses even though they know their eyesight is weak, right? So it's usually the first phase of treatment. A lot of people are in denial. Okay, denial of symptoms. That, no, I'm fine. Nothing's happening to me. Okay, it's not problematic for me. But there would be a time where, continuous use would start impacting other areas of life. Right now, probably she's coping well, and, she's able to manage the other areas while using excessive internet. So the internet use is problematic, but it's not gone to a level of unhealthy addiction. Wherein, when I'm talking about the word addiction, it means that all areas of your life are getting impacted. If I'm to look at it psychologically, continuously being busy on your phone, doing something or the other, is also like a trauma response. Okay. So the moment you are going to sit free and, try to engage with people, there'll be a lot of emotions and thoughts that you would have to deal with. So this is a big avoidance symptom that's happening. And again, as I always say, that as long as the person does not have insight about it, and they don't feel the need for any kind of help, they essentially, have to feel the need for help if they need to be helped. right? So if she's not feeling that need right now, as long as it does not become distressing for her, till that time, probably she'll not approach anyone for help.
How do you, in this age, separate from social media, take a break, move away? Is that even kind of possible? And if for people for whom it's not possible, how do they cope then?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Anushka. So the first thing is to identify, okay? Always to identify. When is it a recreational use and when it's, got to do with your job and, it's a part of your work. Right.
Yeah.
During the time in between your work-related internet use, there would be times when you are getting some free time, but still because of the continuous use, people are still online, still continuously, searching. And we have seen a lot of cases where because of the job-related internet use, FOMO comes in big time because you have this constant fear of, something important would come and I would miss out on it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why even your recreational time is going, sort of there on the internet. So first thing to identify when is it job related and when is it recreational. Second thing, so boundary setting is important. See, whatever time frame you've sort of dedicated for your work, and the internet uses, it's obviously essential that time. It cannot be done away with. So that time you use, but then set a boundary that beyond this point, I am not going to continue the use, or I'm going to at least take an hour's break. And during that hour, stay away from the gadgets. So somewhere that de-stressing, that balance has to come. It is not going to be a perfect balance, but even during the day, if you are spending 11, 12 hours on the internet and at least 2 hours you're keeping, 3 hours you're keeping separately for other activities, it would, be better for your mental health.
Thanks for listening, guys. On next week's episode, we'll be discussing how bullying in your childhood impacts your adulthood. I'll be speaking to someone who was bullied as a child and also someone who used to be a bully in school. So stay tuned to listen to their stories.